camera now. Let's see. Hi. Hi, Bill. Sorry, Adam was sending me a message.
I figured.
He'll be joining late, but he's coming.
Okay.
How are you this morning?
Okay. Good. You?
I'm pretty good.
Do you have a nice trip?
Um, most of it. Let
Uh,
me put it that way.
Still dealing with the remnants, huh?
Well, yes, that took a while to. I'm still recovering.
Yeah, of course.
I just don't travel as well as I used to.
Yeah, well,
How are you, Bill?
I'm well. So you're in a recovering state.
More or less.
When did you get back, David?
Oh, actually, we were back Tuesday night,
Oh, good. So
and uh, last Tuesday night, a week
yeah,
ago,
last Tuesday night. Yeah.
and yesterday they came and installed our propane backup generator.
Oh, good.
Nice to get done.
Uh,
Um, I'm
Yeah.
finding it difficult to deal with the gasoline one anymore.
Yeah. We've put one of those in with this house. It doesn't do the whole house, but it does what we need. And,
yeah. We've got the
it's
same thing.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. Every morning at every Monday at noontime, it cranks up for 10 minutes, whatever it is.
Yeah, we actually, because we have the studio too, they installed a pretty big one for us. So,
Good.
yeah,
Yeah, it's if I was doing it again, I would get a slightly bigger one, but it doesn't happen that often that it's
well,
you
that's
know.
good. We sometimes we have it frequently out
Yeah. I
out
remember
here.
Connecticut really went downhill from the time we moved in in East Hampton till we left, whatever it was, 30 years later. uh, all the services seem to deteriorate.
Yeah, yeah,
So do the trees.
yeah.
The trees kept growing and falling on everything.
It seemed like the electric company didn't get any better either.
No, I think the electric company is worse. Their arborists don't come around as often and all of that stuff.
I don't know. It seems to me like the arborists are around all the time, but it doesn't seem to make a huge amount of difference.
No, when
Yeah,
they leave, we look up the road and say, why didn't they take those?
Yeah, right.
yeah, right,
Exactly.
Who
right.
knows?
Exactly. Good morning, Joanne.
Good
Morning.
morning, David. So we're talking about arborists. We just
Arborist,
had
yeah.
Rick thought that he could switch us to a cheaper insurance company. That's never a good idea, because we've had the same people for like 45 years.
Yeah.
And now they want like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars done, including any tree anywhere near the house. I was like, oh my God.
Mm,
That's not the city coming. That's us, paying money to
mm.
have limbs of black walnuts taken down.
Oh,
Those
for heaven's sakes.
those
I know.
underwriters.
What was that?
Those underwriters.
Oh, I know. Allstate never asked for that, but the cheaper people are costing us thousands of dollars more. So,
Well, I've never had the insurance company request that of me.
Oh, yeah, my goodness.
they're doing it. I talked today. Actually, also there was some moss growing on the roof in a north face.
Yeah.
And I said to the guy, are you getting requests? He said, oh, our business has gone up tremendously thanks to the insurance companies. They started doing this last year.
Wow.
I mean, moss on your roof will supposedly deteriorate your roof. I wouldn't go to
Right.
the insurance company if I needed a new roof. I would buy a new roof. That's what we've done twice since we bought this house over the last 45, 50 years. So,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
they
that's
don't-
just like,
Well, they're on the hook if the water comes through the roof and damages your house.
Right.
You're insured for that.
right,
Wow.
right. So that, so yeah, roof washers are making a lot of money these days. They charge a lot for throwing some Clorox in your roof. Really all they're doing. Anyway.
right.
Yep, next time we're doing it.
You can get a garden hose and
Well, and a pump. You're right. Next time we are doing that. Anyway. Oy, 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 oy.
Adam,
So,
Adam is delayed in a meeting. He'll join us shortly,
then he can, okay.
maybe.
Yeah, and I have a meeting that I'm gonna have to, I can get through this class, but not much of the second session, so.
Okay.
Everyone's trying to get everything done before Thanksgiving. There's too much to do, so.
Joanne, there's always too much to do.
There's always too much to do, and then the wars keep breaking out, you know?
Yeah, right.
worse.
What's with these people?
I know, don't they understand I need some downtime? No. Well, at least I'm not under the bomb, so
Yeah. Oh, God.
that's the good part. Right?
Okay.
All right, okay. Sucks. Whew.
Good. So any particular questions?
Yes. I was gonna ask this last time and I thought, no, this will figure it out. But I'm still confused as I try with this. So in wrapping, I've been really working on wrapping. My knees and hips have been hurting, but I can still work as much as, you know, wrapping.
Yeah.
When we go from back to front and then back,
Mm-hmm.
are we going around? So as we go front to back, we are continuing the wrap but crossing, or are we looping?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Are we going here and then on around?
Yes.
We come
Or here and then
right. We're coming to the front and then going back.
I've been trying to do both, trying to get an instinctual sense of it, but it hasn't, that didn't work, so. Okay. All
Well,
right, yeah.
I decided I'm not going to try to introduce anything new today to begin with,
Okay.
which I think may be a good idea, because I really wanted to work on the wrapping.
Okay.
Because
That would be good. Yep.
I found wrapping very difficult initially, so I thought maybe we'd focus on that for a while today.
Good.
Either of the bills have a wrapping question?
It's incomprehensible to me.
Oh, great.
You said comprehend enough to have a question? Is that what you're saying? To say right or wrong?
No, well, I get it somewhat, but I don't think I'm anywhere close. So I'll second very difficult.
Okay.
Yeah, as I was practicing, I've been still focusing on the anterior posterior ligaments on the spine more,
Yeah.
because I feel like I've made some progress with that. But yeah,
Yeah.
wrapping a wrapping redo might get me started better on wrapping.
Here's my cat, Tashi. He said he wants to wrap too. I don't
Oh,
know.
good.
I'm
Actually,
sure
he's
he
got
does.
it down already. That's the
I
trouble.
was gonna say the animals have got it,
Has it? down pat or maybe down cat.
Right.
Oh, ooh.
So I think one of the things to be aware of as you begin to try to get some attachment here to rapping is not to try to do everything at once. I think I was in my talk last week, or 2 weeks ago, I was pointing out the different cycles of rapping or layers of rapping that we might be doing. And certainly what I found was that as Bruce said to me, don't try to do them all at once, that I just couldn't do all of them at once. I couldn't carry all of that in my mind and feel that movement. So, and I really like the simple exercise. Morning, Adam.
Morning, Adam.
Good morning, sorry for being late.
It's okay. Um, we're talking about rapping.
Okay.
So that simple exercise that I think I introduced at the end of the last class, where we simply stand and think about aligning the twisting of the arms with the wrapping around the body. And really just focusing on one specific area at a time. Okay? So you might focus on the area moving from the sacrum around. That actually, you can have two different circuits. One is to go to the dantian and back to the sacrum. The other one is to go from the sacrum across the midriff and in effect coming to Mingmen in back. The next one really is going around the center of the torso. And of course, there's the one that's at the height of the shoulder's nest, where you have the points both in front and in back that you can focus on. And then the fourth one really is focusing on the neck. And you're trying to really be aware of the throat notch and the occiput, but wrapping around the neck. So really there are four different primary wrappings you can think of in the torso. So let's just stand up and play with these one at a time and just kind of see where which ones maybe you have the strongest awareness of. I think that what happens is that you will feel some of them a little more easily than others, but I think it's easier to work just with the standing and the twisting of the arms rather than trying to do it with a posture right away. And because the arms have the capacity to twist the thumb edge in or the little finger edge in, it really doesn't make a great deal of difference which way your arms are twisting, as long as you are thinking about what you are doing with the arms. So if you think about the arms twisting in, well, let's go the other way. Let's start with twisting out. Start with twisting out. As you're twisting out, you're wrapping from back to front. And as you twist in, you're wrapping front to back. And so start with focusing at the sacrum, twisting around to the front. And it could be either to the dantian or to the hips and the area of the right above the genitals. Twisting out, feeling that wrapping back around. And just focusing on that area to begin with, not worrying about the others. And really try to allow the arms to twist, not just turn the muscles. Because obviously the wrapping is an energetic movement through the fascia. And then move up to the middle of your torso. This is really in front, it's right at the level just below the ribs. And it will be just over the lower ribs in back. But again, wrapping from back to front and front to back. And one of the things I think I mentioned previously, but I just mention it again, is you want to make sure that you don't tend to, as you wrap to the front, that you don't arch the chest out. So now just wrapping around the center of the torso. And now move your attention, your awareness up to the level of your shoulders nest. So feeling that wrapping going around at the level of your shoulders. wrapping to the front and wrapping to the back. And trying to feel the connection to the shoulders nest and to the two points actually behind the shoulders. But the movement is going all the way from center back to center front, and center front to center back. And then take your attention up to the neck. Much smaller circumference, but still trying to wrap from center front to center back. And center back to center front. And feeling that connection to the throat notch, going back to the occiput and back to the throat notch. Okay, so let's pause for a moment and talk about this. So, did you find that one of those was easier, harder? What did you feel?
I felt that at the beginning, I felt a good connection and it felt comforting. I think maybe because I've been having some pain down there, particularly in my back. So that felt comforting. I felt like kind of the midriff is a bit the hardest. I felt a strong more of a strong energetic connection between my arms, my shoulders nest, than in any other place between my arms and anything else. And in my neck, I have to say that I assume we're doing a C curve here. So the warning of not putting your chest out kind of seems counterintuitive anyway. like that's kind of not something we do. Right?
It is, but there is a tendency sometimes for that. So
yeah, I find it a little bit more when I go back. Yeah, a little bit more, right? But anyway, so that's I like I said, I've been trying to work on this, so I do feel like it. I'm not there, but I get it.
Good, good. And
Okay, 2 or 3 observations. The midriff and the shoulders nest area were easiest for me to feel some sensation going on. I felt sensation more from the side to the front and less in the back all the way up.
mhm.
Um, when we got to the shoulders nest, suddenly my sacral area released. It took that long. Um, and I felt a good dose of sensation going around the sacrum, although I was,
Somewhere else.
trying to focus on the shoulders nest, but there it was. So well and good.
Take what you get.
And I'm just theorizing that I have a compressed disc up in the cervical area. I've had problems at lumbar 4 and the sacrum, so I probably hold my back stiff, and that may prevent me from having sensation, easy sensation all the way around.
Yeah, it probably doesn't help. Other Bill or Adam?
Yeah. Go ahead, Bill.
For me, I think it was easier. The shoulders, nest, and the neck were ones where I was getting something, and it was a lot muddier lower,
Mm-hmm.
and especially wrapping back. Wrapping forward seemed to happen, and wrapping back, I would say, was when I say seemed to happen, it's sort of like I think something was happening, but wrapping back was muddier for me, especially at the lower 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
And the shoulders nest, I feel like doing that a little bit more. I think it's easier for me to relax higher than it is in the pelvis area and stuff. So
Yep.
similar issues as Bill Nagel was talking about for L4 and so forth.
Yep.
Yeah. I felt a pretty strong connection with all 4 spots. I think the higher up I went, the more it seemed to cause the twisting. Like a closer connection there.
Good.
But that also could have been just the more we did it, the more like warmed up, you kind of were.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. So that felt good. It seemed to me that you all had at least some connection. And I think one of the things to remember is that when you go, well, 2 things I'll say. A, this exercise is a really good way to practice just the wrapping so that it gets comfortable and your awareness grows. But when you do introduce it into the movements of gods, you want to try to just focus on one at a time, and maybe you want to start with one where you have a good feeling, where you have a strong feeling and can feel that you can make that connection a little more easily, and then gradually work on the other areas until eventually you can do all of them, or just whichever one you feel you specifically need that day. Because sometimes there is a need to focus in one particular area, not necessarily just all of it. So it does take a while to develop, for most of us, to develop equal awareness in the entire area. Um, Adam's Adam's lucky here. He's doing really well, feeling pretty equal through all of them. So what I would like to do is to have you do a flow of gods and just focus on seeing if you can include wrapping in the area where you feel it most strongly. And make it as easy as possible, and not worry about the others. And just so we're clear, when you're twisting in, which way do you think you're wrapping?
Back to front.
Uh-huh. And when you're twisting out,
The back.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. Okay. So, but just see how it feels, how it works, whether you can begin to include the easiest of these. So just take the area that you feel most comfortable with, and see if you can include that in your movements.
David, let's just say hypothetically that I'll take the midriff area.
Mm-hmm.
Should I be focusing on that throughout, let's say in movement 2, when I'm down, should I be focused on that midriff area for the wrapping? I mean, does the wrapping go all the way up and down all the
Yeah,
time?
it's continuous, just like the twisting, the bending and stretching, the lengthening.
Okay.
All the movements are continuous.
Okay.
So it's not wrap, pause, wrap, pause. It's a continuous movement, and you have the same issue with transition from one direction to the other that you have when you change from twisting in to twisting out, or bending to extending. Is that, are you okay with that, Bill?
Yeah.
You don't sound okay with it.
Okay. Like, that's enough for me to work on. As I said, to begin with, this is difficult.
It is difficult, and this is more as an experiment for you to see how it works. What happens here? As I said, I think it's important to practice that simple exercise, and be really comfortable with the twisting before you really try to incorporate all of it into or other parts into the form itself, into God's itself. But I want you to see how it works for you today. What happens when you do that?
How many repetitions?
Yeah. David, how many repetitions?
Oh, how about 10? Before you start, I might just say that if 10 is too many for the condition of your body, do a smaller number. But do 10 if that's comfortable for you. What did you experience trying to wrap a little in gods?
3 and 7 were the most challenging.
Hmm.
I did not, yeah, I really felt it in the others.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah,
I would say 2, 3, 4 were, I felt more than 5, 6, 7. That may have been concentration.
Okay.
I also found 7 pretty challenging. But the rest of them, I felt a pretty strong connection with rapping.
Good.
Yeah.
Bill? Mr. Bynum?
4 and 6 were the best for me, I think.
Hmm.
And I think it helped what in my practicing, I'm always trying to moderate my twisting, not just twist all the way and then go up, but
Yeah.
keep it gradual. I think this really had an impact on doing that without thinking about it as much. And
Yeah.
Good.
so yeah, but it was interesting though for 3, I reversed that. I reversed the wrapping for some reason. It was just
Yeah.
wrapping back when I was going out to Yangi position rather than forward. I mean, I even said it backwards just now. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to do. Yeah. So, for most of you, I think it sounds to me like continuing to do a little bit of practice with the separate exercise may be helpful
Yeah.
to prepare
Yeah,
for bringing the wrapping into the form, um, into gods. Um, did any particular questions come up as you were doing it?
But when you're thinking about the wrapping, and I think I know the answer to this, but it's more of a broad wrapping rather than here's a little thing going, right here.
Yeah,
But
no, it well, there are specific points or areas that we're wanting to make sure we connect to. You're right. It's more a sense of a broad section wrapping around. That's correct.
right. It's a cloth, not a rope.
Yeah, very good, Joanne. Exactly, exactly. Good. So the nice thing about that exercise is that, that's the kind of thing you can do standing in the checkout line, or, nobody's going to know what you're doing.
Doing the dishes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a few minutes, try it, play with it. Um, it's the kind of thing that I think the more you do, as is true of all of it, of course, but the more you do, the easier it becomes.
Mm.
And eventually, you will start rapping without in having to consciously intend to rap, because it's just part of what you do. Um, but that's down the road, of course, as you develop this. And that's true, of course, of all of the parts of this. So I'm going to let you stick with rapping here for another week before we think about anything else. So unless someone else has another question, I'll say goodbye.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Yep.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, I think we'll,
Have a good week, everyone.
yeah,
Take
see
care,
you next
Bill.
week.
Indeed.
Yep.
Indeed,
We are having class next week.
we are.
Yes, okay.
Yeah,
Just-
that works for me.
Yeah, yeah. It's not Thursday; it's Wednesday. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here, I'm here.
Great. See you then.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
David, I got to run to handle a patient relations issue.
Okay.
But no specific questions on the form that came up over the little break there.
Okay.
But good seeing you. Hope you had a good trip. We'll have to catch up soon.
Yeah.
Reasonably good.
Oh boy. All right.
I'll
Well,
tell you all about it sometime.
Good.
and welcome home. I hope you put your feet
Welcome
up and
home.
relax at home.
I'm trying to relax at home. I am.
All right. Well,
Thanks, guys.
good seeing you guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good luck with your issue.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right, the constants. So David, you, one thing as I was getting online, it's another session. I do think I sent you 2 checks, but I don't know where I am on this.
You did send me 2 and
they're all gone. They're all
they're all
spent.
gone. Yes.
That's fine. I just I did lose track. I'm sorry. So
It's
I will
okay.
send money. We have to go to the post office today for War Resisters League thing. So send money.
Okay. That's fine. I'm not worried
Yeah.
about it, Joanne.
No, I know, but I know I shouldn't be late, and we all have bills, and
Oh yeah.
I like to, try to be responsible. I'm not always.
You do the best you can do, Joanne.
Oh my
I know that.
God, David, it's just
There's
it's been busy. Let's just say that. I won't say more while the recording is on, but
okay.
cut the recording, I'll tell you.
Okay.